workers in Kenya who were contracted by OpenAI to build a content moderation filter for the company. And at that point in the company's history, it was starting to think about commercialization after coming from its nonprofit fundamental AI research roots. And they realized if we're going to put a text generation model in the hands of millions of users, it is going to be a PR crisis if it starts spewing racist, toxic, hateful speech. In fact, in 2016, Microsoft infamously did exactly this. They developed a chatbot named Tay. They put it online without any content moderation. And then within hours, it started saying awful things. And then they had to take it offline. And to this day, as evidenced by me bringing it up, it's still brought up as a horrible case study in corporate mismanagement. And so OpenAI thought, we don't want to do that. We're going to create a filter that wraps around our models so that even if the models start generating this stuff, it never reaches the user because the filter then blocks it. In order to build that filter, what the Kenyan workers had to do was wade through reams of the worst text on the internet, as well as AI-generated text on the internet, where OpenAI was prompting its models to imagine the worst text on the internet. And the workers then had to go through all of this and put into a detailed taxonomy. Is this hate speech? Is this harassment? Is this violent content? Is this sexual content? And the degree of hate speech, of violence, of sexual content. So they were asking workers to say, does it involve sexual abuse? Does it involve sexual abuse of children? So on and so forth. And to this day, I believe if you look at OpenAI's content moderation filter documentation, it actually lists all of those categories. And this is one of the things that it offers to clients of their models, business clients of their models, that you can toggle on and off each of these filters. So that's why they had to put this into that taxonomy. The workers ended up suffering very many of the same symptoms of content moderators of the social media era. Absolutely traumatized by the work, completely changed their personalities, left them with PTSD. And I highlight the story of this man, Mo Kenya, who was one of the workers that I interviewed, who showed to me that it's not just individuals that break down, it's their families and communities, because there are people who rely on these individuals. And so Mofat was on the sexual content team. His personality totally changed as he was reading child sexual abuse every day. And when he came home, he stopped playing with his stepdaughter. He stopped being intimate with his wife. And he also couldn't explain to them why he was changing, because he didn't know how to say to them, I read sex content all day. That doesn't sound like a real job. That sounds like a very shameful job. ChatGPT hadn't come out yet, so there was no conception of what does that even mean. And so one day, his wife asks him for fish for dinner. He goes out, buys 3 fish, one for him, one for her, one for the stepdaughter. And by the time he comes home, all of their bags are packed and they're completely gone. And she texts him, I don't know the man you've become anymore, and I'm never coming back. That contract actually was canceled because there was a bunch of scrutiny on that company and the third-party company that they were contracting the workers through.
It was crazy because in the first place, you have never done this, you have never seen it. You can only imagine and put that content into this perspective. Well, it was paying good money then, yeah. $12 per hour.
$12 to describe what you think human flesh might taste like.
Yes. So you have to put yourself into that question for you to put the data in.
But you have to put yourself in the mindset of a cannibal.
Yes.
To earn $12.
Yes.
Sometimes it happens, it finds you in a wrong state financially. And sometimes you never have such, thoughts, and you submit the images because it's money you want.
But no matter the content, the task criteria seems tricky. Whole batches of work are often rejected for technical reasons. But instead of returning the work and requesting changes, the material is taken but not paid for.
They keep telling you they need more images, 100 never met, their requirements, and you need to submit more.
So how many images do you think you submitted in the end?
For the 4 years, I think I would say I've submitted more than 800 images.
800 images?
800 images, and I've never gotten a penny from Appen.
So not a penny?
Not even one.
Michael claims underpaying workers is common in Kenya.
So sometimes you ask ourselves, must we have the discrimination? Part of it surfacing everywhere in Africa. It doesn't have to go that way.
You say discrimination. Why do you think it is discrimination? Describe that.
First of all, we will need to understand why, if you go to the US, for example, for the same job I'm doing, we are maybe working on the same platform. The same job I'm doing, someone is being paid $50 per hour. I'm being said, must we have the discrimination? Part of it surfacing everywhere in Africa. It doesn't have to go that way.
You say discrimination. Why do you think it is discrimination? Describe that.
First of all, we will need to understand why, if you go to the US, for example, for the same job I'm doing, we are maybe working on the same platform. The same job I'm doing, someone is being paid $50 per hour. I'm being paid 0.01 per task.
Hang on, 0.01. You're saying 1 cent.
0.01.
1 cent.
Exactly. And I have emails to prove that.
Michael says he's given up on the idea of being paid. Now he wants the images back.
I would really appreciate very much if they return pictures of my own kids, my own wife, my own pictures, my mother's picture.
I don't think we are much anywhere. I've attended events by Google in Kenya in regards to AI, and I know Google is working with the government on something. So that much I know because I've attended a few of those events. However, when it comes to early adoption, of course, we're the early adopters of AI. We are known for that. If anything, GPT is trained by Kenyans. That is why most of the time, even if you've not used GPT to type a document and it's checked by AI, it says it is 80% AI.
Yeah.
Technically, GPT speaks like us. So that one will always happen. So that should neither be here or there when it comes to that case. But now, I do think we need to have very straightforward, strict policies by the government protecting Kenyan users of AI, because we are early adopters. And the biggest way to do this is preempting situations as opposed to reacting. I think we are very reactive when it comes to policies. We wait for something to happen, and then now we try and put the cat back in the bag. And that is essentially, it takes longer than had you preempted this, because we've always seen the age of AI is coming, right? We've always said there's a revolution that is happening. I said we had the agrarian, we had the industrial, there is an AI, we're in the middle of an AI revolution, or the beginning of an AI revolution. So